everyone, this is Cindy, Crane at the Heart, and I'm back with kind of my last holiday edition of my Dies and More share. And so I'm getting ready to package up everything for Christmas, finally kind of put Christmas stuff away. And so this is also going to be a video that kind of shows you a little bit of the prep that I'm going to be doing for next year. It's not a lot of prep, just a little bit of prep, and actually doing these videos kinds of help. So some of these items are things that I got pretty much too late to really use for the holidays, or I didn't have a chance really to go through the dies, because a lot of times when I get things from overseas, I end up not liking them. So it's a good thing that I don't pay much for them, because a lot of the dies I end up not liking, and they actually go into my destash pile. So I have like a destash die pile going, and I'll be doing a destash of a bunch of dies, not just overseas dies, but I have a bunch of tonic dies. I've decided that I just don't like how they layer. And so this is kind of helping me do that, and also preparing for next year as well. So let's go into it. Because what I'm going to do is any of the dies that I have decided are really holiday and I'm only going to use them for holiday, I'm actually going to package those dies up and put with my holiday stuff. So I have like a couple of boxes, like the 12 by 12 iris box cases from Michaels, and in there I've got, ephemera, ribbon, things that are really Christmas oriented, and I'm going to put the dies in there as well. That way I make sure to use them, and it's much easier for me, because what I found is the more stuff I have, the harder it is for me to use it. So I am going to be getting rid of more things so that I can actually use what I have. So the first die I'm going to show you guys is a basic candy cane die. I like this die. The only problem that I have with it is the layering portion. So generally you could just put this on white paper, or you can glue it down and then go ahead and cut around it, and then you've got kind of a layer. But I do like the way that it cuts out. It's a really nice size, cuts pretty easily. I did it out of another thing too is by cutting these out, it helps me kind of cut down on some of my scraps. But I did it out of some mirrored cardstock. So there's that die. And then this die I have decided to not pack with my Christmas stuff, because I actually can see some other uses for this die. So I'm going to go ahead and probably put this with my, all year round dies. So this is a lamp post. It comes with a wreath and a bow, and I do love the dies that are a little bit more simple. I don't like when they come to me and there's like 16 pieces. I can't handle those. So I know a lot more patience than I do, but let me show you what those look like when they're cut out. So I cut it out of black, and then I had some green glittered cardstock, which I used, as well as some scrap plaid for the bow, and I love that. And you could just put some yellow or something behind here for light. But I do love how these cut out really nice. I like that. Okay, so I've got this stuff. I'm going to keep that packaging. I use my own packaging. So this die right here is a pretty nice die. So it comes with this piece right here, which you could just make a simple tree just using this die right here. It cuts a little stump, and then it also cuts a star separately. So you could actually, if you were good at cutting your paper, you could actually layer those pieces on there with one pass, get a nice tree. And then this gives you an option for a layering piece. You also could definitely do work a shaker out with this. I just didn't want to, it's not Christmas, so I'm not doing anything too fancy. But this cuts really, really nicely. I do like these. And all of these dies I'm showing you so far are from overseas. So I just cut the layers out and layered that up. And I think it's a pretty nice tree. You could even do this in kind of white if it was going to be outside or however, but I like it with the green. So That's a nice die. And then this die, I'm on the fence about. If I get another, if I find I have another die that's a Merry and Bright, then this one might end up next year in the D stash. Because what I don't like about it is the Merry and Bright are all separate. I prefer, honestly, that they be connected. And then I could snip them if I want to make them separate, but it's much easier to handle, especially when the die is real skinny, if they're all one piece. I don't know why I kept all that, because I use my own packaging. So let me show you. So you've got this Merry. See, I already don't even know where the and is. Somewhere there's an and. But you can see, you know, having them separate, then it makes it a little bit easier to lose the pieces, because I already lost that and that goes with this. It probably will turn up. But because it's such a fine die, that the lettering is so thin, it just makes it really easy to lose the pieces. So it would be a lot better if these were all connected as one, and then if you wanted to cut them, you could, because as it is, it's a little bit hard to handle. So there's that one. And then this one I love. Love, love, love. This one is Happy Christmas. It cuts beautifully. It's all connected. I love the font, and it's not quite as skinny as the Merry and Bright. So this one is beautiful and fabulous, and probably my favorite out of the word dies I'm going to show you. Probably is my favorite one. So this one I love. It's very sturdy, very easy to handle and use. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you guys is this one right here. And this one is pretty nice too. This is like a Polaroid style die, but it has the Merry Christmas. And then it also comes with this piece too, which you could absolutely not use or use separately, with a little snowflake. This one's very, very nice. So this one, I have so much Stampin' Up! Cardstock, so I've been trying to use it up. The problem with Stampin' Up! Cardstock is it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible for my purposes. Cutting in my Cricut, it's horrible. And cutting with my dies, it's not so great, because it's a very thick cardstock, and I guess through the way the weave is and how the grain is, it doesn't cut real well. So I had to recut this, and I had to run it through my machine multiple times before I took it out. Otherwise, it would not cut all the way through. And so it's also problematic, I find, in my Cricut machine. I promise I have tons and tons and tons of Stampin' Up! Cardstock, which I will never buy again, because it just does not cut well for my purposes. This cut like a dream. This was tonic mirrored paper, and it's beautiful. So this, you could put little critters behind it, or in your daily December, in a scrapbook page. Just lots of uses for this, with a picture. You know, you could put this here. So I do like the die, and once you kind of figure out what paper cuts well, it cuts very nicely, because it is very thin letters. And you got to be careful, because if if you're having to poke things through, you could tear your paper, and then that would stink. So the next one is this Merry Christmas, which is a little bit more of an elaborate die, in the sense there's lots of things that you need to poke out. So the tonic paper cuts really well, but I definitely would run it through twice, just because of all of the little pieces that you have to poke out for this die. But it's really nice. I mean, I like it. It just is a lot to poke out. So, just a lot to poke out. So keep that in mind, because you don't want to tear it. And if it doesn't cut real clean, then you could easily tear your paper, and then you'd have to recut it. There's that. I like that one. And then this one right here is a simple die, and it's nice because you can cut it if you want to cut the pieces. You could cut. Maybe you just wanted this part of the image. Maybe you just wanted the tree. So, I mean, you could do that if you wanted. But this is what it looks like cut out in black. So this makes very simple cards or simple scenes, or you could easily put this in your book. So that one's really nice. And then this is another kind of Christmas die. I like this one too. I don't like it as well as Happy Christmas. I think the Happy Christmas one cuts the nicest, but this one does pretty well too. This one's a little bit more fussy. It's a little more poking stuff out and a little bit finer. So you gotta be careful the paper you use. But I do like this Merry Christmas. I think it's very elegant and pretty. So there's that. And then yikes. I can't stand these plastic things. They pack everything in because they tear so easily. So I'm just gonna put everything in my own envelopes. So this is Snowy Tree. So a lot of my Cottage Cuts dies, there's a handful of them I really like. I like how they layer, I like how they cut. If there's a bazillion pieces, I'm just not going to use it again. I just know me. I just don't have that kind of time unless it's something that I really want to make. But basic things like cupcakes and with critters popping out, I mean, it's easier for me to easily, do a cupcake and put my own stamped critter than to try to piece together one. So I don't know, but this I like. There isn't a lot of pieces to this one. It's a pretty simple die. Basically, you have your tree, you have your layering pieces, and then you have your tree trunk. So it's pretty good. So that one's Cottage Cuts. And so I didn't cut out the stump because really honestly you don't need to cut that stump out. You could easily slice a little triangle and stick it here for the tree trunk. But this is what it looks like. I love it. A nice size and very easy. This is my absolute favorite Santa die hat because the size really works for a lot of things. So I have another one. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or what I'm going to do because the size doesn't seem to work for a lot of the things that I have. So I might ask you guys' opinion on it. But this is a nice size. It's super easy to cut. Really easy because sometimes there's just so much with the Cottage Cuts dies. But this cuts really nicely. So you've got your white piece to your hat, and then you've got your red or whatever color you want to do. But I do like that one, and it cuts really nicely. And then that fits pretty easily on a lot of different images and things that I have. So I like that. And then this one, I don't really care for this one very much. It's okay. Same thing. I think it needs to be connected, and it's not. This was 99 cents from Simon Says Stamp, so I did pick it up for 99 cents. But I think it might end up going in my D-stash because I'm not a fan of it. The reason why is because it's not together, and it's pretty fussy. So you have this bee. I would much prefer just to use my Lawn Fawn ones. They're just so much better because they're all one piece and just really. So here's this Be Merry and the No Peeking. So I really think they should be together because you could cut them if you want, but in the meantime, they are just, easy to lose, and they're very thin, so it's easily broken, ripped, torn. So not a huge fan of this one right here. And this is the die that I was talking about that I might be looking at. I don't know. I might try it for one more season to see if I can find critters and things that fit this die. But everything is super small that a lot of things that I wanted to use this for don't fit, and especially the hats. This hat fits things way better than this hat. This hat's really tiny. This is like for a squirrel. So I'm going to keep it just to see, but I don't know, or I might destash it. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with it. Okay, so now we're on to the LDRS creative dies. And so these dies also have like the topper portion, but I'm keeping them separate because I don't want them to get lost. But these cut very well. You just need to make sure, because they're very intricate, that you run it through multiple times and that you don't use paper like Stampin' Up! Paper. You need to use paper that's going to that cuts normally nicely for you. Because the Stampin' Up! Paper is fine for the large image, but the intricate ones, it will not cut all the pieces for you and you'll just hate life. So this is what the ornament looks like. It's cute. I'll debate whether I'll keep it, but for now I will. And so that's what that looks like. And then here's this one. And just to give you an idea, now I used the die cuts with the View glitter paper. I think I got it at Tuesday Morning. It does not cut well with intricate dies. And I thought I would try it with this, and it just does not cut well. And then you're trying to get it out, and it's just impossible. So the paper you use really matters. So this is another LDRS. This is the piece ornament. I might like this one more. I don't know. So you got this piece, and then you have this piece. And so for this one, I cut it in black and then the green glitter. So that's pretty. Okay, so now we're on to my last die I'm going to show you guys, and then I'll talk a little bit more about some of the prep. So this die right here is also an LDRS die that I got for very inexpensive when they were having their clearance. And so the way that this die kind of works is you cut it out and then you kind of use this to cut your bottom out. So this is how mine looks. And I really like this one. This one's very easy to use, so I like that. So actually, all the LDRSs are very easy to use. So as far as prep goes, besides, you know, using the iris boxes to kind of corral all of my Christmas stuff, things like stickers I purchased and things like that, it's a good way of corralling that than having it in 5-10 different places because we ran out of space and we just put things wherever. Then it's all there so that you're not going, oh, I know I have snowflakes. And I love these. These were my favorite. I came with silver and gold, and they're stickers from Michaels. But that's just a really good way of corralling all your stuff, is putting it in one shoebox, a box, you know, something. So it's all together. The other thing is there were a lot of stamps that I really didn't get to use much. And so I had spent a lot of time stamping these and coloring these out. Some of these I turned into thank you cards, and some of them I'm just saving in kind of scrap panels, and these panels that I can decide to make them into cards or however I want to do next year with what I have. A lot of these were the gnome ones. These ornaments, which I love. I also have some other things that I've colored from Pink and Maine. And I didn't color this one in, but I stamped it out. So those sorts of things. And then I have a bunch of things that I had discovered sort of late that I wish that I had found earlier, or tags and things that I did not use, which I'm going to put together in the same place that I'm holding all of my Christmas stuff. And then that way I'll have all these little pieces ready to go to create with or to use on projects next year, so I can get a head start. Or if I find that I'm falling behind, then I have some things to work with. And so I'm going to put those all in a baggie, and I'm going to place them in with all of my Christmas stuff. And then hopefully I will get a head start on my Christmas crafting for next year, so I don't run out of time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This is Cindy of Praying with the Heart.